So what can be taught for free? A smile, a good gesture, a hug, handshake. You look good today. Excuse me, lady, you don't know me, but I just felt if I could do something good for you today, by saying something wonderful for your ears today, then it would be your natural curly hair, your afro hair. It's nice to see that women haven't given up on their culture. That plays a wonderful part in our history and the building. And because I came from a good father and a good house, I can stop you in the street and say something very attractive and intelligent for you to recognize that good men still exist. That's a good gesture. For women, it would be, hi, you seem like a really good guy. Because it wouldn't be too hard, because it would be easy for a woman to attract a guy in this way if you have a good heart. Excuse me, gentlemen, I just want to praise you for the way that you're dressing, or the way that you smile, or the way that you speak, depending on the circumference in which she would be near or far to hear the message from a good man's mouth, a gentleman's mouth, and how a gentleman knows that he's surrounded by a gentle woman is the gesture that she shares with him. Good speech, good smile, you have an honest face, you look familiar. Do you have a good father? You must have a good father, but just examples for how we can come together as people. It's those small things. I've just opened my packet of sweets. Would you like one? Just a simple, it's got to be of a good gesture that brings people together, for the meaning that I've said it twice, that it brings people together now the third time, fourth time, because it brings people together. People come together when we share these good things. And when a good person or a good man or a good woman is in your community and they speak good and they do good things and they've always been as good as you've seen them to grow and they've never changed, when it comes to competition, they don't need to step up or stand up because they've been harnessing the good practice of their goodwill, and that's a goodwill gesture. The same as going into a shop and receiving a voucher or a good service from a retail assistant. It's still the same thing. It's a different practice, but it's all connected. That's what we're looking for when we want to build from being born into a world of sins to make the sin add on another letter, which is in addition, adds or take away, but we're adding the G to take away the sin, for a sign which is good that we all can recognize. That wouldn't be a new form of competition. Okay, we all need to start talking good now. No, it's just, if you're alive for longer than 20 years or 30 years and you've had a good record of saying good things, then that's a reward for you, not a reward for you to take over the kingdom. You can't take my kingdom. This is my communication. My kingdom's up here, and you can't use a chessboard that's even with the same characteristics and the same colors, but you've only made one person the only powerful character on that game. Now, if that person is to be considered the most powerful representation for who it suggests, then that person in life, real time, would have to speak exactly the same language in which that game of chess would suggest. But if that chess didn't suggest to all the sons and daughters of all those in jest to the same practice, then that character right there would not be classed as the most powerful player on the chessboard until the other man shows his hand. But he wouldn't have to show his hand, because he'd have to show thoughts of reprimand, dictionary for that one, because most of you seem to be running away from research, and it's just because of the simple signs of a book, then of a game, a film, sound, music, vox, vibration, signs of the times. And you all are responsible for creating the sign of those times. And the sign from those times should only be one thing. One thing, doesn't matter if it's daytime, nighttime. If you allow those things to manifest, good things, then good's going to come from the investment. If it's bad things, then bad things are going to come from the investment. The choice would be left to you if only you were responsible enough to keep it going in such a good practice. And, you know, I could suggest so many things about other things. Me speaking, is it done? No, it's never going to ever be done for as long as I'm here. Because I know that if I'm meant to sing to anyone, it would be myself. And if there's anyone out there who recognizes that I've created a song in my way, which in reality, if I date a decent girl, for instance, here's the example now, magic trick, whoa, and we're sitting in a room, and then we're just having good conversation, back and forth, Serena and Venus Williams, bam, bam, power, but in a calm, relaxed manner. Whoa, ooh, magic trick, sprinkle, little star. How I wonder what you are when you're talking positive words back to me. Now, if I'm singing to you with just conversation, speaking, then you should be singing back to me. I don't have to jump up in the front room and then get on the keyboard and start making songs for you to notice that I am love. You would actually have to see my style, my preference in the way that I express my love. And I've done that. I've done everything that I should have done. So if everything that I do, if you're a part of my son and your mannerisms react and mirror image my mannerisms as a person, as a somebody in community, as of women who can reflect on the same page as me, because even though I'm a guy and you're a girl and I may speak just like you and you know that you speak just like me, then you're a part of my collective. Not Eve, it means that you're even. That means me and you can stand together. That's what should have been taught by fathers and mothers. And by the time I weave it all together and put it out there and just say, look, if you're so interested about a man and relationships, and you're trying to take fathers and take sons and take mothers' sides and opinionate yourself to a law of practice, which the world, I've already expressed everything that I need to, but you wouldn't need to do that. Now, if you fancy me and you see me in the street and you know that you may not have a career for me, you may not have a platform for me, you may not have any music or a studio or a flat for me, but you can probably give me a space where I can express myself and make a career out of it. If you like me that much, then you would have to come to me. That's what I've seen. That's what I've been told by the men who have made you sit in their seat to judge on their panel. I've seen that in programs, fantasy films, action films. I know a real woman when I see one, and when I don't see one, there's a problem. As of when women don't see a good man, she's supposed to know. Not judge him by the next man that she chose for herself, but it made a bad call. So if I have to showcase myself in this way for a woman to see this is who I am and this is who I've always been, then I've done it. And it's not because I've done it for you, it's because I've done it for me, so that you can see what good men are supposed to say and speak and look like. When you devote your time with a man and you wake up with a man and he hasn't combed his hair or he hasn't shaven his hair or he hasn't brushed his teeth, you've made a decision to Be committed to his time, to share his time alongside your time. So there's no point looking for, is his hair nice? Does he drive? Has he got a job? When you just know he's got the right credentials. And if you know you can help him, and you know and you're certified that he can verify giving something back from the investment that you've taken out, because you ain't afraid to share that with him, then you must know that you're going to get that back. It's logic, it's moral ethics. It's simple to a guy who knows how it's supposed to go. But a man, this is what I won't do, is just fight for something that's just been reincarnated just to test the minds of sons. And whether this is a sign out to someone who's ill practicing young men's head and women's head, then the sign that you should take from this is that you can't lie to me, and you won't play me, and you won't control me, because I'm not Mario, and I'm not Diddy, and I'm not Kong, and I'm not Ryu, and I'm not Ken, and I'm not Snake, or I'm finding it hard to find characters, because this is the character, this is the real life character of me. And once you know that you've won for a son, and for a woman who wants one, as a man, you've got to be able to control your thoughts. There's no point playing the game of chess thinking that you're using your thinking ability to win a game, and then you're going to be disappointed, because it's either a queen who beats you or checks you, or the man who's using that queen to check you. So you want to think to yourself and say, no, I'm not going to play this game, because I am me. I am the move that I make. And that's just it. And if women are afraid of that, or from the side perspective of a woman, a man's afraid of that, then you can't play a chess game with two people who are scared to just play for just a good relationship. And that says a lot, in many words, that you expected to have been added to the expression. How much can you seek? If you're a celebrity and you have everything, money and all the materials that goes with it, accessories, to suggest your power, you should be set. I'm married, I have money, I have a career, I have kids, I have a husband or a wife, I'm set. Why are you trying to take other things? That's greed, that's putting too much eggs into your basket, and I'm sure you can't carry that. There's only certain African women who can carry that on top of their heads. But what you can carry, if you're not an African and you don't have a basket on your head with eggs, is your brain. And that's just a simple teaching for today, children. Yo, Jamaica. I know you're listening anyway. You guys are talking a whole lot about what them I do, and them I do this, and them I say that, and how many of you guys out there teaching the kids, the boys, to be good men? And how many of you women out there from Jamaica doing the same thing? I've got to question what you're doing, because if your boy, DJ Cool Herc, brought something from Jamaica to the Bronx, which was confusing, but it only took so many years for them to look back and say, well, yes, that's when the change began. But then I noticed on a documentary where he's back in Jamaica saying, well, yes, this is my father, this is where it all began for me. So if you guys can sit and say, well, you wanted to test with the music just to see if it had the same divide, and it would have been who was responsible at the time for colonizing Jamaica to teach that, why would you bring that to America? If you were listening to the music and you knew they was asking for someone, why would you think that you would be the godhead to bring that over there to play with other heads? Then I guess Jamaica, I heard the music that you played for me that night. You wanted me to walk you there to where? To prison? It's not my practice. Even though I'm here to recognize that fathers are not playing their parts because they're not teaching the young boys and the young women how to remain responsible, then it would be down to them to ask for, let me say it in your Jamaican language, for Uno to respond to the inquiry. And then everything can be airy, if you see what I say. So I'm just kind of giving you some of that so that you can answer, not to me, but you guys can be responsible for talking to the crowd, because you guys, like DJ Cool Herc, and I learned this many years ago, but I just was not listening. But now I can look back and say, well, yes, the teacher that time that was trying to time me at that time, but I wasn't listening because I just thought music was just about playing sounds and hitting the notes and the pianos, and if I couldn't teach the keys or the notality or notes or tonalities, then I'd actually be able to hear from ear. So I was listening to all that jazz in the music. So Jamaica, look, you're probably asking me that night to walk you to prison, but I haven't made no money off your music. And like DJ Cool Herc, or just Cool Herc, because any DJ spinning two DJs to try and create two different scratches on two different occasions just for just one cause, one common cause, just to make himself rich and famous, then you'd have to answer to the people. And then you'd have to then explain why you did it. Then you'd have to give something back, because that would be the inquiry, which is the customer's birthright to request a refund. So you're probably looking for some, because you're a bad man or whatever, probably looking for me to give you some sort of quarantine speech or something, but there it is. That's the speech. No music, no argument. So I'll leave it down to the peoples. You'll get this before I post it, but I know you're in the room listening anyway, so you'll just get it. So when you see me on the street, Jamaica, this is who I'm talking to. I am talking to the men who make a living out of being in the studio, making music, sounds, saying things. So the Jamaican men who are walking upon the street with them little bombs to shake this way and that way, now talk to you, because you're a witness of it anyway. I'm just talking to the men in the studios, the mans who are playing their sounds in the band. They've travelled, toured around, but people must be able to discern what good music's supposed to sound like. And after listening it, to question, well, what did it tell me? Did it tell me to be a better woman? Or did it just suggest that him like my eyes, him like the way me style me hair, the way my body look thick? So that's what the women need to ask. Because if women are struggling to find good men, but then the sons of the fathers, the forefathers of men who make boys into men, are not teaching the very thing that a good father is supposed to give, to share, which is in the Bible, then the women need to go back in there and say, yo, blood, blood clot money there. And that's how you need to be talking, women. And half of you so-called gangsters will be looking for me after I've said this. You really ain't got no platform to stand on, because you didn't sell no money to me. My dad's a Jamaican man, and he taught me how to be a good man, if not a Jamaican man, taught his son the righteous way, the way that makes a man put his palm upon his chest and say, yeah, man, yes, this is who we want to see. And this is who we want to hear. So, look, I'd love to walk in and be all vexed and angry, but I've had my years of anger now. All I can do is give the calm, music now. I'm listening to the young children on the street say, yo, that's calm. So in the way that my people are wanting to speak now, to be wanting to start something now, you'd have to be calm. Yo, that's calm. And just say, yo, who do you think you are? Why did you teach this to us? How come you made all this money from us? How do you think that you could cause such a stir as a DJ, not even DJing, but trying to be a master of ceremonies when you only were going to get found out in the ending of it anyway when the tune done. Finito. Why do I laugh? Doesn't matter, does it? Because I'm innocent. Why did all you guys laugh though? Were you innocent? So you think because there's an Asian man or a white person or a black person, you can be identified from our community, and we're only supposed to be speaking to our community. And then when we look back at all the problems and where it began and who started it, we all know that it came from colonizing. But if you found out that the colonizers used that practice there and you figured it out, and then you figured out how to make money with it as well. So they must have paid you to do something, then you come out here and practice it to get extra payments, then you become favoritized by the colonizers, and then you're coming out here practicing all this, making it into a style, and then you're mixing up all the children, and then all the children are supposed to have a fight with God about it, when it should be you that they're turning back to. At least then, if they can actually turn back around to do it the right way, will they be turning into a pillar of stone? No. So who taught that story as well? But that's a topic for another day, which somebody else can say, we know exactly where that came from. So that can't go nowhere. All I'm here to do is identify who's to blame. If you know that somebody taught you something and it was bad, you shouldn't assume the authority in your accredited creativity to give yourself a certification to go around and start practicing that. You wouldn't have a right to do that. And if you're teaching the young men and boys, elder women and younger teenager girls just to be criminals, crime lords, because if it works for the white people, and then they gave it to the Jamaicans, and then the Jamaicans wanted to go out there and teach somebody else in such a nice way that nobody would see it, then I can only leave it in the hands of all the children to make their decision. And if I'm going to say it as clearly as this, so you get where I'm coming from, you've ever, if all teenagers are okay with being taught to that level of degree to befall an angel, if you guys are all right with that, guess what? I'm going to be all right with that too. Because if you want to accept that virus or that infection, but then you sleep with a person and then they give you an infection down there and then you're ready to cause an argument, then that's your homework to discern between the two which one would be more serious. If you want to be serious, let's get serious. And that ain't a shout out to my boy right there in the bad sense, but I'm just using the characteristics. Now you may think, oh, yo, so in one chat, you think I'm bad? I don't think I'm bad, I don't want to chat. to you. I'm talking at you, not by you, about you. So you need to answer to all the people that you made music to. And I would suggest do it fast. But if you do it fast, then you're going to try and deny something. But even though Jamaica wasn't the root of the cause, you still shouldn't have taught the same practice which has created black on black crimes. The level of intelligence in the music now is almost at a minimal, and no one wants to do their research. So what people are doing now is saying, well, where did it come from? Who started it? Racism, the police and the government, Hare, Babylon. And it's like, okay. Who's talking more about Babylon in their music? Please, somebody put their finger up and just tell me one person. Anyone who's talking more about Babylon has to be someone who tried to master the Bible and send that around, So, I really thought that people were clued up now, but every time I hear the word whoa, and then I think about the little things that I listen to, and I think, so that's where it came from. That's the research. We're trying to find out who the problem is. But the thing that doesn't look good on me now is that my dad was a Jamaican too, but the only different thing about my dad and the other Jamaicans was my dad was 100% as pure as I am. And a lot of Jamaicans don't accept me because I've seen their facial expressions and their practices towards me, and I weren't having it. So I'm almost, if not that, solidified from your mouth or your practice or your ill talk. I can't tell you Jamaicans what to do, and I ain't even gonna start. You're not my responsibility. And if anyone, the first person to mess up my older sister's head was a Jamaican man, because I'd done my research. She dated a Jamaican man, Shireen from Birmingham, who was the most beautiful, dark-skinned sister I have, next to my other 3 sisters. And the Jamaican man got with her and messed up her head so much she ended up into severe mental retardation. She was given a course of pills. She had to walk around like that every day. And when she showed me the pictures of how she used to look, my eyes nearly fell out my head. I've dated a few Jamaican women, but I went through my traumatic experiences with only one Jamaican woman, and she had to confess to me in the end. And then one of my other friends told me that Jamaican people don't like me. Is this the reason why you don't like me? Because I speak the truth. And you're just waiting for that moment when I come back with a spit and a chat. This is not my war. It's the women who are the household of being single parents, of their sons who have gone out of control. The women who lost their sons to some drama, some gangbang theory. It's the men who have lost their sons to this so-called war that everybody's fighting, where there's no war. The first man I definitely heard was a Jamaican man say, words is different from going in the ring. And I'm thinking, it's like you're telling me to fight or something. But if I use my mind up here and I know that the social national security borderline has protection to protect people from going out of control, to creating riots, then why would I need to fight? And if I know what I'm fighting for is to keep my brain cells and to keep my close ones close to me, why am I walking around on the music, for one, talking about them? I chat said, them I do this, them I do that, them said them the best, me not care, me as a bad man. What's all that talk? It's not a talk of the Father. And then at the end of it, you want to talk and say, what do you say? What do I hear? give thanks for the Most High, give thanks for the, and it's like, well, you're chatting all this, so how can you be giving thanks unless you're creating the opportunity to say that the Most High are the high ones, and if people could identify with who and what high is supposed to mean, because I can't differentiate between what's high and what's low when it comes to people. The high people, who are the high people? Is that the law? No one's above the law. And the low people, I guess that would be us, the minorities, right? But somebody would have to score me on that still, because I don't know, I just live here, I just do my thing, keep myself to myself, and that's it. All the Jamaicans who are taught to, I haven't been testing, yeah? If I bring money to your business, it's because I'm showing you love. If I come into your food diner shops and I'm buying your food and I'm giving you compliments at the end of it, but then I'm taking away your food and the fish was left out of the fridge, or it was almost a week old or 6 days old from the day that you cooked it, and you want to give that food to me and you want to hurt my stomach, then obviously I can see that you're trying to ill me. So I can actually claim that I am a witness of some sort of practice. But to all the Jamaicans out there who are good, you're exempt. That means I don't mention you. You're good people. The Jamaicans who are practicing the bad stuff, the customers are going to have to bring back your service to you. And if they can't rap or sing, they're going to have to find someone to do that. And if you all do it as a collective, I'm sure you'll get the answer. It's only fair when you go into a shop and you're receiving a bad service, you kept a receipt. For musicians and listeners of music who are affected, your receipt would be the music. And it's very easy for the sound to sound good, but you've got to be able to listen to the words. How can love mean, well, me like you, me want to become your man, me want to run the plane upon the runway, That can't be the way to talk to a woman. I just made it up. That's mine. That's mine. Well, somebody else used that before. I just brought it back up. But you can't talk to a woman like that. That's not discipline. Me like the way you wear your hair. Me like the way your lips look. How about you give a woman a reminder of who she's meant to be? Natural hair, natural makeup is your skin that you were born with, etc., etc., etc. Ha 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 ha. Who you talking to? You in the room with Big Papa Papa. And you can't lick me, even if you had a tongue. So what's wrong? People need to stop blaming the government now, because the government's there. They've got a set part there. Then you've got the people in society. Then you've got small businesses. Then you've got those little criminal mind people who create an idea to do something. If you're in prison, you're making music from prison, then you're supposed to be showing the reform that you're learning when you're in prison. Not talking about fighting with mans and starting a style. That's why I can't talk to people right about now. Even though I've been talking, you've got to take this away, and you've got to say, look, why are you teaching us these things? You're meant to be the father. You can't be calling yourself all these words and, misleading me. I'm somebody else's child. I'm meant to live and survive and be happy. So most of you guys out there, you're not going to answer to me yet, but you might never ever answer to me, because I just want to be alright with my peoples, and that's it. The people who know what I'm saying and have got an album there. If I tell you a lie to your face, you're gonna not be my friend. If I tell you to cough, you're gonna think, I ain't talking to him no more. So if the music is telling you, then you need to kind of take a picture of it, put it on Instagram, and then you need to hash that. That's the only way you can disapprove if you don't want to talk to people, because you don't want them to come back to your face. I guess that's why Instagram is a silent way to burn something, isn't it? So, Jamaica, you may look to me and have a lot of things to say about me, but my words, wherever you thought they were written and who by, wasn't a message for you to do and say things to disrupt the assembly of good brown people and other people around the world. You see me, blood? I'm not sure if we're the same blood. Because if we mixed our blood, we'd probably get AIDS or something. So I'm not sure what type of blood defines family if you don't do what family is supposed to do. So I'll leave that with all the peoples. I ain't telling you nothing that you shouldn't have already been told. You like Judge Judy, you like Judge Rinder, you like your detective movies, you like your Law and Order movies. I'm sure you guys have got the gist of it now. If you want to be a jury, then that's where you need to start. I ain't got nothing else to say to anybody else, really, in terms of wanting to fight with me, because you want to fight just to see, like, you know, what the outcome is, like what effect you can. You're not using none of that old KKK trade practice with me, because I'll detect that BS straight away. I know how cunning you are, because I've been told about you. That's the wonderful thing about knowing who I'm talking to now, for the reason why you should be fighting. Because young men are supposed to be on the microphone saying, oh, you false fathers out there, not false idols. Because if you can't see, then you're not sure if you're talking to, who you're talking to. Was it, okay, the transatlantic, who's involved in that? What, Brazil or who? Portugal, like who else? England, who are you talking to? Who are you guys talking to when you're speaking on the microphone? Who are you trying to impress? If you wasn't taught the goodness by your father first, then you're not going to be able to get that approval from the woman who you think you're talking to, because she ain't listening, because she just wants to know if you were raised from a good father, and if you read the Bible, then you're supposed to know what that's supposed to stand for. And I haven't even made an album yet. But that's no reason to get big-headed. I'm just teaching the young youth them what they're supposed to hear and what they're supposed to drive as esteem. Mom, why do you lie to me about Dad? Tell me about Dad. Because if your mom keeps running away and telling you the same thing, Mommy looked after you and Daddy left you for another woman, that's the same old story I've been hearing as well. And that's probably the same story that's going to try and chase me, but I'm going to turn around and Medusa it and say, yo, you know who you're talking to? You know who I deal with? And I'm going to say it in a flimsy way to make you think it's not a boss. But then again, who is? How about just be a good father and a good mother and a good brother and a good sister? Good cousin, good friend, good peer, a good teacher, good teachers from a good school, a good home. You studied what before they went to any school? The Bible, because it was the Bible that mums and dads were teaching their kids to pray before bedtime. So that was my very first practice. So like big up tar for you Jamaicans out there who have succeeded in becoming famous or successful. I mean, the ones who are very successful, brilliant to you guys. And that's where I will clap, and it doesn't suggest that, you know, it's light skinned or white or anything, but just well done. Thumbs up, you know, to you guys. Like me, and thumbs up as in well done. I'm proud of you. I really admire your music. I would actually go into HMV and buy your music or stream it online or the Apple Store or Spotify. But to you other guys out there, I'm not impressed, and I'm not surprised that you're teaching what you're teaching. And then when I look at the kids being misled, and the Jamaicans are still asking the kids are misled, it's not like an older man like Grandfather Hovis, we all know who he is, or Beres Hammond is turning around and saying, well, It's Beanie Man who's responsible for this. And I'm not happy that one of our own is taking the history down a different pathway. I mean, it doesn't cost nothing to say that if you know that the practice of, I mean, when I say Beanie Man, I just say it was just an example. If Beanie Man wants to talk about Batty Boys in his songs, then, you know, it's down for the elder to pull him up. But now the children can turn around and say, well, yo, if you're not into no Batman, why are you talking about a Batman in a rush so quick? Why don't you take your time and think about it like a father does? I mean, that's what I would say, really. You know, I'm not saying Beanie Man's responsible. I'm just giving an example for people just to say, well, we need to look at it in that way. To say, well, if he's saying something bad or she's saying something bad, we don't listen to it and we give feedback like we do when we download the app, and after so many periods of hours, the app says, are you happy with this app? And then you can give it 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4, you know. So to be a part of law, you got to know the little things that build up to accepting, knowing what to say and how to say it and when to do it, to be a part of really being grown by the law through the words that I'm saying. I don't need people to turn against anybody. You know, if you walk away from me in the street because you just don't like the look of me, or you can't take me but you don't know why, then it's the same practice, isn't it? But if you can't take me and I don't know why, then there must be a problem with your thinking. But for some reason you've got friends because of that type of thinking. So I'm just giving people second breath, a second wind to save their lives. If you want to carry on doing what you want to do, that's cool. But you see, when it comes to me, and your little silly words that you may mumbling when you're walking past me in the street, if you ain't got nothing good to say, you might as well hold your breath when you walk past me so that you can carry on talking when you don't want somebody to know what you're talking about. And if you think about setting me up, you might as well take that out of the equation as well and hold that to yourself and forever hold that piece of distortion of being a retard or retarded and go seek some help. I leave it to the people to suggest what they want to say and what they want to do. I'm not expecting nothing from anybody else. I'm just giving them the mouth and the actions. That's it. If somebody wants to argue with me and I think it's valid, I don't know what you're going to have to do to get that out of me, but if this message is not enough for you to let you know that, boy, you can't really talk to me, you know, because one, you didn't offend me, and even if you did, I'm not feeling nothing about it, because that's just a touch that you probably would give me if you tried to throw a mad swing at me in the street. I probably wouldn't feel it, and even if I did, probably wouldn't hurt. And if you have to use anything else to hurt me, then that lets me know so much more about you, and that's to anyone out there. I suggest that individuals reform their lives. If you want to make a change, be accountable for the people who are mistreating you or ill-treating you. That's it. You know, if your mum and dad turn around or have turned around and said, well, we don't want you in that crowd, then that's the very first warning. But then if you get angry and then you think that your only cause is to join that crowd because you think it's a new stance, a new force, a new person, then you're just going to be misled again. But when good people stick to good people, it doesn't have to be called unity anymore. When good people stand by good people and push away the bad people, then you will learn more about unity, if it means un-I-T-Y, because you will learn what it means to reserve something good, and then you will learn something about your relations and what keeps people together. Like if you buy a nice coat, you don't want someone to rub it off you. Or if you got a handbag and you're walking in the street, you don't want someone to rub it off you. You don't want someone to take too much money out of your hands in the street. So you all know how to discern between good and bad. So let's not put the threat inside one another to make us do irrational things. Because if a mother is a good mother and a father is a good father, and then they raise good kids, the problems are solved. The problems don't even arise because you hold them at bay. So, if you do that 7 days a week and continue being a good person, then I'm sure the world will appreciate this word of mind. And that's where the positive change comes from. That gives you the strength without your heart beating erratically or your confidence being distorted in case you think about all the bad things that may stop you in your prime action of trying to handle the problem at hand. You can't do it if you're negative, but if you're positive, you can do it. And if that's one thing I can take from hip hop, then that's the new teaching, isn't it? Be calm, not erratic. So if half of you guys out there are saying, well, that's what we did do, you know, we become analysts. I have my top 100 albums here, and I've listened to all of them. This one's positive. Out of 100, which one's positive and which one speaks bad? I think that's what people need to be doing on YouTube now and getting paid for that, because that's cleaning up. That's not doing my work. I've done the hard work for you and said, well, if you do it like this or that and this and that, then you're going to get the results. So if you YouTubers want to make money now, I think somebody should start a style and say, well, I've got my top 10 best albums. If it's just 5 minutes you want to give for 2 albums and you want to go in depth, or you just want to spread your money out one album at a time and break down what each song is saying to you, to the reason why people are being misled by the music that I'm supposed to represent in this way. And then you can get paid for doing that. That's called what's it called? Private shopper or a secret shopper. If you look it up online, you can get the database of instructions for how you can make money. Thank you. I just paid you for a job. Looks like I never done anything. Ugh. Oh, the story about Shireen Gray. The result of meeting whoever that Jamaican man was. She's dead now. But you don't care about that, do you? You don't care who you has in there. Someone's got to be blamed, innit? So let's blame Babylon. Who the baby's belonging to who? To them what? Jam it? We jamming. I wanna jam it with you. What, you wanna stick it to me? See, the ones who I love dearly are dead now because of your music and the things that you're doing and practicing. The type of talk and to make me feel threat inside and all of that. You know, I gotta walk around my pain every day. I have to question myself. Do I love Jamaican people? My dad was Jamaican. Other sons and daughters are from Jamaican men and Jamaican women. But the music that you're sending out there, that's not a way. And everyone's coming to Jamaica to sit with you. And you're teaching all this music because it sounds so good. So let me start again then. Now my voice is warmed up. So DJ Cool Herc, after the colonization of the trade, went to America and created his music, and then went back to Jamaica because I saw the documentary that suggested that yes, Jamaica is where his godfathers are from,
and that's where it begun. So whatever begun there at the time of the colonization or practice of whoever colonized Jamaica at that time, which I guess wouldn't be hard to tell if you could find that documentary on YouTube, would be to blame. Then Jamaica carried it on, and now it's the result of the music now. So Black America has been bombed by Wuhan viruses, the KKK practice, the Jim Crow laws, the government, the police officers. They've had the sufferings of the black men. Now the women have seemed to be able to teach the discipline because it seems to be coming back that they have to make men love them. The Twin Towers got bombed by terrorists, and it was obviously the Islamic or whoever's claiming Quran and the Torah. And there's probably more things that happen, you know. Jamaican people seem to be in America more than they're supposed to be, working and living the dream and being able to create a future for themselves. So I realized back in the day that I wanted to go to Detroit because I wanted to do something, I wanted to vote. So I had a Jamaican woman on the train trying to boost up, going crazy as if she was going to hit me, so I moved. And then another Jamaican Rasta man come and sat by me and coughed in that way that suggested you might as well stay here in England. So I don't know what the war is between Black America and obviously Black Jamaicans, whether you're trying to mess up my future to keep me here and then put in the music that I've heard that if only they knew that they were protected because of us. If you're talking to two boys, then if I go into your Jamaican shops and then you're making me feel ill with the food, or you're just passing on some unhealthy practice, you want to take me out of the way, but half of you are not even talking about what fathers are meant to be talking about. And if you were, and you were held responsible for doing that duty, we'd have more sons knowing who they are, and more daughters walking around respectful, and I wouldn't be arguing, running for a father's son's investment just to get him to do a practice. And you guys want to talk about secrets? The more secrets that we have as a community, I mean, it's just going to be a virus. It's just known to be a virus. So you guys want me to do all this practicing because you don't want to believe I'm the one. And even if I am, you're going to act as if you're trying to protect me. But if you're in war with Jamaica because of what they've started and you can't come to an end of it, then I'm hearing the music that's saying that we can get your boy if we want. And then this is what you're trying to do to keep it hush-hush if you hope that I don't know what's going on. Because I can't hit what my eyes can't see, which is true, I can't. But if you guys have got chess game plays in your music and Michael Jackson's Blood on the Dance Floor suggests what of everything that he claimed to be, as in Peter Pan, and everyone's talking about two sons, and it's all making sense now when people make their music. It's all making sense. I know what many of you are talking about. But if you guys want to harm me or use me as an example, but you can't tell me what you want to use me for, and then when it comes to talking about love, you want to use love as an example just to get a man to be captured. You're all claiming to be deep, so you all must be trying to fish for something, and you're trying to get me to be deep, to keep on to that practice. Then I practice this deepness, and then hopefully if I'm being deep with a woman and it shows how deep I can go, maybe it's telling you how I'm getting, or how the Jamaicans, or how Jamaican sons are getting their mind state, but it's just good behavior. But if you guys want to go deeper into it because you think because now you've recovered, you've got through all the slave trade, and it started with, well, no one's African, no one's Jamaican, no one's Egyptian, because Noah's Ark and the flood separated everybody because everybody has their own tents. And even though people have their own tents, nobody seems to be acting like, well, we're safe now. We don't have to war with people because we're separated from these people now. And even though we have grown, well, you should have grown to know this, because I know this. So if you guys want to talk about I'm stunting like my father or my daddy, well, I'm going to copy him. And I'm not supposed to know what all your music is about, and then you're doing that, and then I'm wondering why you're copying me and why I'm creating all these things, and then you're creating all these things in your music, and that's supposed to mean because of DJ Cool Herc who came over, because we know who you are now, then we're just gonna take from you because you've taken from us. So my Instagram page, AG_KIING, wasn't an attack. I was just listening to the music and everybody looking for a resolution. Aaliyah said that we need a resolution. So here I am. I'm trying to create something, and now I've built on the foundations of my intelligence to share my love with every individual out there to say, well, look, who would I want to hurt when I'm trying to repair the hurt? But I didn't know that it had anything to do with me having to be accountable for everybody's pain, because I wasn't alive at that time. And now I've grown into a good person and a good man, and I'm sharing what I can have, even if it is for free. But you guys are like, you need a studio. It's like, I need a studio when I decide when I want to sing. For now, if asking for a lawyer, or because that's what you're asking for, we need a lawyer to help us solve these problems. Lawyers over there, I've already explained on that topic already. I've already took that food out my teeth and shared it with everybody. So, you know, in that way, I did diet because I'm taking out all the things that seems to have made you think that I bit into some apple, and I'm practicing the same practice of all the other artists. But how that's making me feel now that I'm uncovering all these practices, I can't even be a musician the way I want to now, because Jamaica's saying stuff, Black America's saying stuff, and now Black America are being responsible for bringing Africans to their country. Chadwick Boseman and many others are dying to either cancer, drive-by shooting by their own people, and at the end of it, it's always a woman that stands to have the last say or something. Because I know Black America have fed wholeheartedly on the Bible, and they stand by that. They believe that one guy has to die. So I know that that's America's practice right now, which makes it very, very hard for me to even see a woman over there now and say, you know what, I'm gonna go there and migrate and share my love. So when everyone else is sitting there saying, well, you know, God's first, but if only he knew what we had in store for him. And if I don't know what you've got in store for me because of Cool Herc, and now Jamaica have backed that up in so many ways, it just makes me sit here and think, boy, Jamaica, you might as well, from Shamar down to Oret, down to Letitia, down to the lady at We Jamming. I mean, she seems to have improved, and she seems to have shown me that, yeah, man, she can change in some way. But boy, I don't know. I can't read minds when I walk into your shop. I can't do the Superman things and look beyond your brain cells. When I come into your business, I just come into your business and give money. I don't come into your business to get hurt. If I'm the staff of my business, I ain't gonna come and be assaulted by any of you. I'm not here for that. You may not like me, but I'm not here to be liked by everybody who is not in their right mindset. So you can keep that and bring that back home with you lot, because I ain't bringing that back with me wherever it is, and I'm meant to be seated. So I don't know why you guys are bringing me into this fight. to the reason why I can suggest you all asking for things, but I could contact Alicia Dixon and I could contact Emily Sanders, then I can contact Lady Alicia, then I can contact Megan Good, then I can contact Rhapsody, then I can contact Missy Elliott. And not one of them are getting back to me. Lady Alicia, Megan Good, but Megan Good's married, so it doesn't matter. Tara P. Henson, she didn't really say nothing, and she sent me a picture, but I've sent many pictures, many audios, but it doesn't seem to be putting a smile on anybody's faces, because once people are ready to revenge and they think that all those people over there now are the ones that they're gonna go for, then that just puts me in this game for no reason. So thank you, Jamaica. You walking around saying, yes, one love, and it's one love. You better take that love and shove it up your blood clot backsides about one love. Who made you the law, Jamaica? That's what I want to know. St. Nevis, and all you guys down there who are over here, through whatever practice, Windrush, maybe you should Windrush and fight yourselves back to Jamaica, because I don't know who made you guys the law. If you're trying to outdo me with the brain cells, then from everything that I've said concerning the brain cells, I don't need the book anymore. You guys need the book. When I read a book now, I just read 2 or 3 things from it, and that's it. So you guys are gonna have to study that book, shove that book up your ass, sit on it, and give birth to something good. But I'm just giving out all these videos because all these speakings and audios, because ain't nobody holding me accountable for other people's reactions. I'm just coming out here with the answers and say, well, that's that, that's this is that. I wouldn't consider myself a snitch. If I'm assuming position and character as a lawyer, trying to create justice or just resolve, and this is my energy and this is my vibration, then this is what I'm doing. I've already spoke about family, I've already spoke about the government and food, live people eating dead animals. Okay, fish is probably excusable because there's no skin on it, but if you want to eat what you want to eat, you're not offending me, because I've come here to look, see, and speak, and listen, and that's it. Anything else is for everybody else. But there's no way that I'm going to keep to this practice of how you guys want to create this and that and the secret. There's no secrets. If you're just happy to allow this to keep happening, and then you want to select somebody else to come out and do something else after, when I passed away, you can't just eat me like pasta and then shit me out afterwards just to learn something that it has to be flushed away. It didn't serve its purpose. It didn't put no weight on you. It didn't put nothing in your brains for food for thought, did it? Apart from, oh, it tasted nice. Needs a bit more salt. Should have put a bit of oil in there. Or we garnish some sauce on it, some tomato puree or something with some herbs. And that's it. At least I'm giving you something for nothing. I don't need your money and I don't need your fame. And if accepting your money and fame, that must be an investment to accepting some sort of bribe from some unknown devil that's going to put me in a position that's going to make me feel as if everything I say depends on stopping or creating a war or a fight in some way, and I just can't stand for that. So I've just stood just to say these things. I can put all these things out on Insta or Facebook, but I know you've all shown me one thing, one ignorant, arrogant, rude aspect of human beings we don't need, who I don't need in my life. People just ignore me, trying to get me to sway and sway and sway, and it's like, no, I'm supposed to say it in this way and that's it. You guys are just, I I don't know. If you go, then there may be a possibility, but I may be killed after that possibility. They invest in me because I invested in this information. Then I get there, get whatever is meant for me. Then I hold on to it for a little bit, meet a girl, have a baby, and then some crazy thing happens. I don't get to live out my life, and then another woman. We told you we'd take your boy, didn't we? We're crazy, we're mad. It's over for you. Nobody else come over here because we don't want nobody else coming over here. Stay over there. So this is why I haven't run anywhere, because I know the caution in me was saying, don't go, don't go. And if that was me being a lawyer for myself at that time, I didn't do it. But then I'm thinking to myself, well, why are all these Jamaican people hurting me or giving me gangster looks? And why the women don't like me? Or if they like me, just want to lay down and then, light me in flames. Just give me the light and pass the draw. And even that has nothing to do with what I'm saying. I'm just kind of just clinging to things that seem like it just doesn't sound too good when I'm listening to music that's supposed to sound good. And if it just sounds good because you are trying to kill all the innocent goody two-shoes in the family members, and you're trying to wrap it around that's what you all trying to do, and then I can only say that young vulnerable boys are in danger if you haven't got the information, and young women are in danger if they haven't got the information. Anyone who's Jamaican or American seems to be in danger, and sirens are coming for all of you, because you guys think that you're good at rapping, you're good at creating a heist, robbing the bank. This is what happens when you rob the bank, the main bank. He figures out what you're doing, and then he alerts the real people to then come in who you can't see, because half of you must be dumb and blind. And you're obviously not listening, so you're gonna feel something. So you carry on doing what you're doing. If you want to harm me, harm me. If there's a girl out there who likes me, and you know that you're good, and you know that you like everything that I've said, then you've got to figure out a way to get a message to me, whether it just be, we have an audition. Well, I'm not very good at remembering lines because that's incarceration and I haven't practiced that. So if the only thing that I've been trying to give you, which is my most easiest ways of freeing myself, because I just don't know what to go to, which is suggesting I have a learning difficulty. So this is me doing it in this way because I've tried to write and I've remembered a 16 bar before, but that was only in a house that I lived at, which was a shared accommodation. And ever since I left there, I couldn't write again. And I've been struggling to write. So, I mean, like pen and paper, write something down that I can see. So I have a learning difficulty. And I had my head burnt open because of the way that my dad spoke to me. Instead of saying, son, do not go by the fire. Please stay away from the fire because it's dangerous. He just said, don't go by the fire. And because it was a silent do not, I went by the fire and burnt my head open. So something happened and I've lost my memory. And then when my dad passed away, it got worse. And then when I got sold some cannabis or some sort of weed from somewhere, then that just messed me up even more. And because my friends and family members are walking away from me and giving me signs of rapping all day in front of my face, then I just don't know what's going on, why people are claiming to be dyslexic or learning difficult. I can understand if there's a learning difficulty, but you've had to have had an accident. I had an accident. You're not born dumb, because when you're a baby, babies are born intelligent. But they just need to be taught how to express their intelligence, and so it makes sense in English form, so we can hear what a yes means and what a no. And when a baby says dada or mama, or at first and then when they learn to say mama, dada, then they're learning. But they're injured as well, because when they're born they can't say or speak, so we have to teach them. So I'm teaching you. not to give me your virus or your. I'm not your hoe. I'm a gentleman. So I haven't really got much songs to sing no more after this. This is my way to sing. I sing like this in this way, and if none of you guys can applaud it or like it or love it or support it or make it go viral because I've said good things or just things to open up the brain, the mind, the heart, the body, the act, the smile, the wide-eyed, it's a torch to see where you're going now, then you know what? I guess I've said everything. And then I have to leave it up to you girls and guys to put the good message out there. Since nobody wants to look at my YouTube account or you only want to take my style to make you guys richer, then you keep doing that. But I just want to let you know from now, you haven't affected me at all by doing this. Because if it stays like this, humanity is over. It's finished. It's coming to the end of it. And if people are being caught by the virus, then that means you must deserve to go. And if I go, then I'll be glad to go. Because if you guys don't want to listen to me, of all people, then boy, there ain't too much we have in common. Even if we are commoners or just lower class people. I mean, not. You're reading this. This is how, if nobody likes what I'm doing, this is how you guys read the Bible. You all think that it's meant to be in that way or some other way, but this is how you're meant to be seeing it. You see the actions, you hear the words, but you don't want to do nothing. You guys are happy to do what you do and say what you say and to cost. And you think it's defense, it's denial. That's all it is. It's not honor, it's denial. You're not lying, it's denial. It's not being a false witness in the eyes of you looking at me. You're just denying yourselves the truth. Trying to kill me with your eyes, your actions, your words, your denial. That's all you're doing. So it ain't a surprise to me. So when I see a smart person thinking that they're smarter than me come and stand in my face, I'm ready. I'm ready for the interaction. I want to see how you want to experiment with me. I'm loving it now. I'm all pumped up now. Ready to call out names, second names, last names. Ready to take pictures and everything if I have to. And then put your face on YouTube just for you. You can do it to me because everybody knows how I'm meant to speak. So when people see me and they look at my character and say, he looks familiar, I'll be like, yeah. Oh, we saw something out there about you. Really? Well, the only place where you need to be coming to get that information is from me or from this dope ass YouTube account of me speaking through a tube, which is a trumpet that's signaling a vibration. You guys can keep running from that. You can keep copying me because you're just confusing the word, giving everybody else a chance to talk out the words that I'm speaking. And when everybody else is getting better, which I'm hoping, because you think, oh, well, just pay us for speaking for you. We don't want you to, because the whole Tupac Shakur will come back again and he'll be the highest paid rapper and we'll get nothing and everybody will leave us. So most of you girls and guys out there are just envious and you're red eye and you're infected with that. So I'll leave you with that. Any girl interested in me, you think that you've got a heart big enough as filled with gold such as mine, you know where my Instagram page is, and if you don't, I'll put it at the end of all my video, well, at the end of this video, so that you can see who I am. If you think you're big enough to stand with me, because you have a plan to, we can put it together. Whoever, whatever. I'm not discriminate, but if I know that it's more for my community, I'm going to give it more of a chance because I want to see my community grow. White people have the government, so they're watching, so they just grow, and then they can turn around and say, we're glad this happened. Yeah, we're glad we gave him the money when he needed it, or we opened up a university or a college there, and it was free, and he went there and he learns. And we're glad that we made the clothes that he needed, and we put them in HMV or JD or any other shop, just in case he walks in and he needs an attire. We're glad we helped him with the food that he needed. We're glad, he should be glad, but we're more glad for him because we helped him. He needed help with the thrush or the infection in his mouth. We put the right ingredients and medication out there. And if anything else that you can do to help me to make my mind become more memorable so that I can be a public figure, to guide others, even if it isn't to receive any type of money or anything else, just to guide people. And if I just need a jacket or a pair of trainers or, you know, a pair of Jordans, Auras or size 9s or, you know, just something, or a MacBook Pro. If I just need it and I can get it cheaper, then I need that, because I know my phone, I could actually sit down and put a better video together and just make it my story, my life story, because that's what I want to do. I want to give people the answers. Half of the things that I'm saying, I would suggest that I'd have to edit it, but you know what? I think I've been more on point with my conversing than I've ever been now, surpassing the past of speaking, and I'm very proud of my achievements. I have no award or reward. I have no girlfriend who's inspired me. My dad's not here. My sister was killed. My dad was misdiagnosed, and then I felt as if my sisters were helping him into the grave faster, so I'm kind of messed up from that now. My other sister was neglected because she was ill. Nobody wanted to go by her, and then until she died and people went to the funeral, then people are looking back at me saying, well, you didn't go to the funeral. And it was like, yeah, I went to her house, I washed her hair, I made her feel good, we put music on, we danced together. That's what I did for my sister. So nobody can talk to me about Shireen. Right, and even though Dad was just like, leave this, leave that, I went there. She didn't want to live because she knew how she felt about her leg. Her leg blew up. She couldn't walk. She was like a, I don't know, just like elephant woman. She just had a deformity and it didn't look right. But she lived with it. She still smiled. She still walked around and shared a good vibe. She never walked around with a hanging down, upset face. And it hurt me when she died. I only saw her a few days. I went to visit her at night time and she wouldn't even open up the door. It's just like she just switched. So, you know, so you guys want to target me. I'm carrying my pain, and that's supposed to not amount to anything. Who gives a fuck if I'm son of the most highest God that nobody sees? That's the impression that I'm getting. What do you want me to do with that? I woke up like this. To do this. Put some goodness back in your ears and back into your heart and back into your reaction so that you can get paid for something. To do something good for somebody else. Don't make me feel bad because it wasn't you. And if you can't teach good women to get with good men, what do you think is going to happen? If we had more good men and more good women, we'd have more children of God, real children who actually do something to repair the family or to repair relationships and relations. Possibly we only have the European Union now, which seems to be modeled off the people of the world to be new euro dollar money and peas in the pod and together as a union together. So it just kind of you see all the stars around the table and I just think to myself, well, they seem to have grown in power, so why can't brown people should see that as an incentive. But you guys see that as a Nazi sign or something. And you don't see how strong they've grown. They're even attacking England now for not being able to make up the Brexit. And I'm just like, there must be a reason for them to think that, to know that they can do that even against England. Wouldn't England be a country that nobody would be able to go against? So there's something that's happened there. And if that isn't a sign for you guys, it could be this conspiracy, but I can't really sit here and not hold on to these things because I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, well, no one seems safe anymore, but no one realizes that they're in danger if they don't change up. It has everything to do with everybody. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying at this level. I can't make love songs for women now when this is happening. And women want me to go to her. Like, why can't she be a gentlewoman for once and come and find me? Literally, just forget the music and say, you know what, I'm going to this guy. So if I say La La Milan, you know, do something before I don't and I turn away because I'm giving up. And it seems more logical for me to give up because if women don't really want to love men anymore, and all you want to do is just make a man a victim to cancer or get shot up by one of your boys, you don't give a damn anymore, and you can't show me that you can protect your sons over there, but you just want love just because. I can't take the steps. I just can't. And I can actually get what I need. Facebook or eBay or Amazon, I can get what I need. It's very simple. For the price of fame, I don't think I want to give my life for the price of fame. For people to follow me around like I'm still in the plantation with a camera and then asking me questions. I'm sorry, you can't build a whole network from slavery because, boy, I don't like being followed around. I like my privacy. I like to know that I'm walking down the road by myself sometimes. And when I'm in the park, unless my life's in danger, then I guess the people have to be around. But if I'm not, then, you know, well, people can't chance with that because anything's possible now. You guys want to make me virgin to your games and stuff, and you just want to keep humping me. And then you want to keep dumping me. So whatever it means on a children's program, it didn't mean that 5 days ago to what I've grown to know it to be today from looking at it, breaking the words up. Hump, as in humping my leg like a dog does. Hump, T, who? T the cross, T, Tony, dumb, because he's dumb, then dump him, T, who, T again, T, Tony on the cross. And all the kings of men, and you just won't be able to put me back together again because you dumped me. So, look, man, I can only stick with the good people now. And if you guys can't let go of your evil, devilish, demonic ways, and you need to be desensitized or sanctified or baptized, you better go find the church. There'll be no point coming to me because if you ain't listening to my words, you ain't looking at my videos, you ain't even following me on Instagram, you don't even like none of my pictures, and then I put my stuff on Facebook, and you guys expect me to do it in the same way as everybody else, then that would make me just like you guys. But then if you guys are trying to teach me, well, you're no different from us, then that's the reason why all this is happening. That's why we ain't got no leaders. That's why you never listen to the government. And then all you see is white people. And then all you see is the transatlantic trade. Then you see the drugs. Then you see the guns. Then you just see what you found on Google. And then you look at me and then I look at you and say, well, the law and the government was created in a way only for the outcome of you obeying. So when I come and speak to you, that's the white people's investment for bringing and you guys up and teaching you disobedience the hard way or the easy way or the tough love, black love, whatever you all been singing about in your songs to make black people be targets. So let's teach them about the law, but you guys, you don't respect it. You want to work for it if it's got a good career financial proposal, or you want to control someone, or you want to learn something, or you're just sensible and you just want a good job because you've got the right credentials. But it's not fair that you're gonna put me as the main target to all these games. I deserve better than this. We've all struggled. Yeah, of course. You support me, then I can turn around and support you. But if you're all just trying to hold me to, or you best pay me, or you best give me this, or you best look back and, it's kind of like, well, what are you doing it for then? If you're my sister or my mother, you're meant to just love me without even challenging what it's supposed to mean. And then I'm listening to all these women talk about, well, we know something about love that men don't. And it's like, well, you're doing this to me. What could you know about love? What can you teach me? What can you give me as a reward for love? If you can target the son of the most highest intellect to come and bring people back together, and then you want to say, well, we got guys who can speak just like you too, but you wasn't speaking like that before I came around. You were just turning it into a business. It was just a business. Here, I've just wrote my new autobiography. It's like, we've got a Bible. We don't need your autobiographies. Why are you taking everybody away from the Bible? Well, you can't understand the Bible, but you can understand me. I'm like, well, that's your interpretation. You ain't talking like me. You haven't been talking like me. And if you're talking like me now, it's because you're in tune with what I'm talking about, and you're just doing it to make money for yourself. When am I doing it? I'm doing it to wake people up. And I'm telling people why to wake up. But if you want to deny me, then when you still not woke, and it's 2 years or a year from now, and you're still asking the same old questions, why aren't the people waking up? And this is still happening. And then somebody talks about my video, and you ignored it at that time, and then you're going to remember it, then you're going to come back and listen to it. But if you guys are in this room with me, besides my phone, recording my audio, and you think that you don't need to listen to it, because you watch me do everything, so that means you don't need to watch it again, then that's just you denying yourself of getting it. The second look twice, because you got 2 eyes. Not because you're sitting in the television that's not even the television that I'm presenting to you. I'm presenting the television to you on YouTube. And there should be no creative spark in your head. Well, it's a tube, we can't see it. We only can, no. Let's be in real time. We're in real time now, real days. These are the real days. I'm giving you a presentation and an outlook and an overview of everything to touch the circumference of up and down and in between one time. That only suggests only so many amounts of videos that I'm sharing. Not to take it away from anybody else, but if you can't detect anything bad, how many times can you, well, you're going to have to wait for what I put out there until you're ready to come and look at it. You don't have to sit there and give yourself multiple excuses to try and figure out what I'm saying. It's very, very straightforward. Half of you people get paid to speak. So with Jamaica and America and what America seems to be doing to Africa now, if you guys are happy to just give you because you're teaching the women to go get yourself a good guy who's vulnerable and he's just a good guy, and then he's just left out there, and then he catches cancer before he gets to live out his full life, and then the excuses. Everybody can get cancer and that. Well, if I met a girl and before I met her I was clean, and then she had an infection and she gave me an infection, it wasn't in her body because somebody else put it there and then she shared it with me. Or if she went down on a guy and then she got infected, but it didn't show in her mouth, but it showed in some other form, spots maybe, or who knows, cold sore, and she kissed me and passed it on to me, then cancer could be passed on in the same way, especially if somebody knows how to make it. It's a organ placed in the blood, could be beverage, could be anything. So So nobody can say, oh, only men get it because it runs in their family. Everyone's born with it. So if everyone's born with the virus and it only takes another type of infection to set it off, then someone must be to blame. Someone is to blame for that, but who? So when people are saying and showing me in America that only the men are dying in America and the women are still standing there, look at that Lauren girl with Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle got shot up by a black guy. She had a year to refresh herself, and then she was messing around with other guys and stuff and taking pictures. Her hair went back. She started wearing black. She's a new woman now. I'm thinking Nipsey's not here. The same thing in a different form with another woman. So his other men are either being shot, cancer, gang violence, boy, and it kind of keeps reoccurring all the time. So I just know that for men, good men like me, America is a bad place for me. It just feels like that way. In Jamaica, I just can't go there either. Sorry, I'm not even sorry. I'm just bringing about the notion of sorry so that you guys can be sorry for yourself for what you've done. And if you guys think that it was a good thing, and you imagine that good things need to create bad things so it can be seen as a good thing, then you can say that on my behalf, but I didn't tell you to say that. I'm just saying, if you want to think that, which I know you're going to be looking for an exit, just to create an excuse, then you do that. You do that. Alright? Until I already called out many names for them. I haven't. Look, even if Lola Milan decided that she wanted to do something for me, America is not considered to be safe, and I don't feel safe there. And if it's all just joking, I just don't know how to take being with a Jamaican or an American woman, or a woman who has Jamaican parents or an American parents from Afro-Caribbean class in America. I just wouldn't feel comfortable because I know you're analysing me for something. And that's why you girls are talking about you want to air. And then if anything done down there, you're going to keep it. And it's like, look, man, I'm not doing it. I'm not a hoe. I'm not nobody's bitch. And I'm not nobody's gimp. You can't bring me out because the gimp's asleep or whatever. Look, because you guys have made me into a punching bag because no one's here to stand up. But you're getting a man to stand up for all the wrong reasons. What war? There's no war. There's only a war if you're easy to kind of like get into an war. It's just like if I went to someone's face and had a disagreement with someone like I did earlier because someone fed me some food and it hurt my stomach. Somebody else gave an ingredient to a dude and he wanted to make something and it just made me feel all crazy. Then I felt like I was shivering. I was like, what the fuck? This woman's supposed to have all these awards and it's like certifications for health and safety. I told the security health and safety and he's like, what does that have to do anything with it? And I goes, every chef needs health and safety certificate so that they can prepare food. Why do you think? Because if I get ill and they haven't got health and safety certificate, then I can sue that person, take that person to court. Security guy doesn't know that because he's not a chef. So for all these little things that you guys are not teaching one another because you're trying to dismiss it, then boy, it's worse than I even imagined it would be. Come into this day and age of people who are supposed to be looked at as ratings, rankings. You're meant to be up there. You're meant to be really up there. And I can only look at Jamaicans and I don't know who gave the ingredients to Americans, but if there's two people practicing black magic or any types of African voodoo where it must have originated from, then that must be 3 countries of black people who must be doing that on me. I don't know how the white people seem to be telegraphing, but unless they've got a black friend who they've bribed to come over and give them the information. I can't sing to you people because I don't trust not one motherfucking one of yous. because all of you guys are lying to me. It's quick to tell me that it's Jamaica. Till if I put 2 and 2 together, then it's going back to America, then it's going back to Africa. And then everyone seems to be happy to kill out the good boys in the family. I don't feel safe around my own people for that reason. If there's good people out there, you need to come out. And all you bad people, you need to find somewhere to go. Away. And stay away from me unless you're willing to kind of just, you know what they say, give thanks and give praise. That's how you guys be talking, innit? Starting a new style and thing. Give thanks and give praise to the Most High. Who's that? If you're not thinking like eye to eye for an eye. But it doesn't mean that to start a war or to charge the white people, because black people are taking it in their hands now to want to make their own feel bad about themselves. But nobody ain't saying nothing. Because it's just a little secret. Nobody has to know. It's going to be interesting to see what people are going to try and do. What I would do, if you need help, I'd actually just turn things around for the better now. Let go of the ill practices. Well, you're going to hear those sounds, aren't you? Would it be too much to ask? I don't know what to ask people, man. 1 minute you want me to ask for something, then you want to say you're going to promise to give it me, and then when I ask for it, you don't give it. So if I can't hide a secret from you because you want me to go to a studio and sing songs, I'm not doing it. Fuck you, I'm not doing it. You don't deserve no song until I see changes. And if you can't make no changes, but then Tupac wants to create a song called Changes, and then you want to rate him, oh, that song was, yeah, it was a good song, man. Yeah, I brought the CD, brought the album and stuff. And then I made all this stuff for you guys, put all my time and all my long thought and research that I never thought I did, but obviously I was. And then this is how you guys want to treat me? And that's fine, because you don't want to hear me talking, because you're in denial again. And it's just sticky and jammy in your brain and you just don't want to admit it. Instead, you just want to make songs and throw shots back. And I'm either meant to live with it and walk around wounded because no one wants to even show me face. And then I walk into any shop, not that I'm walking into a shop just to see if people are going to show me face or not, but I'm just walking in to say, well, what's Black history trying to teach me today then about matter and what I can see if I'm meant to be feeling something for my people. So when you guys deny me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and you guys are still searching for the sign, which you may believe that you're hearing it now, because every time I say something, you're still asking me for the sign to give you something else, because you're itching me that much. You want me to get everything out. Oh, fuck this. I'm voting for you guys to make the right decision. What's your decisions? You guys pride yourself on secrets. I go into a studio to make music. Everybody's already displaying that they can see through my vision and my phone. I go into a studio, I make this wonderful song. It's a secret, yeah, but the producer in there who's recording the music, I don't know who he is. When I spend my money on him to make a song and then he leaves the studio and he phones his friends that I'm in there making this music and it sounds like this, and let's put him in touch with whoever make money off me and I can make my own beats, but you don't want to accept my own beats. What secret?
when I'm in the presence of the girl who I want to love, because I know that she wants to love me and she has no limitations to sharing her love for me in the way that can capture my attention, so that I know that she's talking only about me. She would be the one then who I share my secrets with. Nobody else is supposed to be there. Nobody else is meant to be listening to me. So you know what, right now, I guess the only secrets I'm giving you is the case. That's all I'm giving you, the case of what's happening and who's to be looked at and who's to be blamed. But when you guys look at me and you're looking for a reason to blame me, you take home the imagery of what you're trying to make me feel, and then you're going to be reminded of that when you look in your mirrors. And when you think about me, you're just going to be thinking about yourselves. So that's my secret. Because when someone loves you, do they hold secrets back? Think about it. You want the truth from someone? If they love you, do they give you the truth? Do they give you the formula? Now, if you're going to ask me, what's my formula for my strength? One, I woke up one day and I didn't know that this was me, because when I went to school, the teachers couldn't hold me at the age that I was, the age of 11 or 12. And what happened there with a basketball, not once but twice, when a table fell on my big toe, when I got punched in the chest, when I got whipped in the face by a tree. I rode my bike, looked back, got myself wrapped around a lamppost, ended up on the floor. I just woke up like this. I don't know my formula. And for the safety of me, in Superman, we all know that he has kryptonite, that's his weakness. But we don't know about how he got his strength. And even if somebody tries to create a story from that, it still doesn't make no sense, because when someone has a secret, no one's supposed to reveal that. So Lois Lane may know that he's Superman and Clark Kent, but that's all she's supposed to know. Where he came from, his source, nobody's supposed to know what that is. There will be no cameras there to suggest that the spiritual of the Father, the Most High, is giving us this message. Unless you're just creating a notion. Start with this. So my source is that I woke up like this one day, didn't know it was me, until I looked back and said, oh. And then I looked at the people who brought me up and all the things that happened, the events. And then I thought to myself, well, no one told me. Just like my dad left me with the last message before he passed. And I got that in a note that he wrote. Why couldn't a son save his father? And that was it. Then I figured it out. I don't know how I figured it out, but I just figured it out. Because the son wasn't told how to. Didn't know how to. That's why he couldn't save his father. And then I've placed on accessories because his father didn't want to be saved, but it was too late. Or his father put too much trust in too much people. Or the people around him were actually killing him silently. And no one came to save him. But then I tried to save my dad. But then everything that I just said comes mirroring back. How's everyone supposed to act now that we've got the message? This ain't the message. I don't know if you'll ever hear the message. You'll either hurt me, or you'll hurt yourself, or you'll ignore change, or you'll miss the signs, or you guys will just stay the same, ignorant, denying everything, or you'll try to sell out a new style because you need to let go of the old one because it's all played out now, and being confrontational with your little messages and shit. Dragon stout out your mouth, you might as well not put it in, you might as well leave it, innit? I mean, an alcoholic beverage versus chocolates and sweets. I'd rather put chocolates and sweets in my mouth.
Dragon style, what's that? Could have told you before you left the shop, but probably would have carried on walking out. But you know what? I'm kind of happy if my life was to just go in the next few weeks and I wasn't aware of it. I'd be happy. At least I've done everything and said everything that I was here to say for myself, to free myself, mental and physical clarity. I've dated all the women that I could have done. I've left white race and Hare, two-tone baby, or Tian. I've left the Africans and Hare, Trinity, and I've left the white people at Hare, Renee. So if the brown people are kind of thinking, well, we got no Hare. But when you in Jamaica and Africa and your fucking selves can stop arguing with one another and pay some attention to me, then maybe you'd have one. Our Father's meant to give us all this attention so that we can do well for ourselves. Yeah? Okay? Which children can surprise their father? How many children these days surprise their father with a birthday party or a gift to say thank you for everything that you've done over the years that we expected you to do now? But when we look back and question all the good things that you did, the hugs, the nice smiles, the positive mental attitude, the politeness, don't you think I showed you all those things? Don't you think I supported you back then? But now you want to see the message. If I've lived my whole life to show everybody the message of the good book, the good things that I took from the good book, shouldn't it be you now giving me back my payments? I think absolutely. That's very assertive to presume that you kids owe me now, not the other way around. What do you think that is? I'm meant to go to a woman and then a woman can't come to me. Then I'm meant to give her my gift. Where's her gift? How can I tell her about her gift if she doesn't share with me what the gift is? Because she don't want to give me nothing. Because she's used to men coming to her and giving her something. Give me something. Give me your hand if that's the only thing that I ask for. And everything else would just be assumed on being a team. You want me to fly where? Pay for my ticket to come and fly there. And I'll buy dinner. Right? And if your sense makes sense more than the money that you've earned for yourself, then I'll buy an investment for the rest of the life that you want to build with me. Other than that, I know that I'm number one gentleman. And if I'm meant to say to you at this point, born to love because of you, which is the only thing that I've used, away from everything that I have said, that I didn't have to use that last statement to make it my honor to make my body available to you, if I've already said your name, then what should you do? If I've got to go to your school so that you know that a new guy has just walked in the school and he's giving good account of himself and you're going to be attracted to him once you see him, wouldn't you send a girl over to, or a friend or a guy say, oh, she liked you. She wants you to kind of, I don't know, here's her number or, you know, I don't know. That's how we do it at school, innit? High school, college, uni. Used to do that at school, back in the playground. So what's so different now? connect with good people. That's it. If you're a good person, connect with you. Just the person who just wants to miss what's happening because you can't see, and you just want to give yourself, this is how the Bible speaks to me. That's why I'm speaking to y'all guys in this way, because this is how the Bible speaks to me when I'm reading it. But because my mind's blank and I can't feel the expression, I've just seen words and I'm not even thinking about what it means, but I got to see the picture. I got to see the added extra incentives like I've been adding. And this is how I'm bringing momentum into, okay. So we're going to have to sit and watch the whole entire video. Not watching me make it, because you would never hear to see me do it in the first place. So you'd have to kind of take yourself away from the equation of watching me to build it, to allow yourself discipline to step away from me doing it. And then it would be a gift to be able to sit and appreciate it, because the way in which I'm praying and the way that I'm teaching you how to pray, to be obedient and to allow yourself and not ignore or alienate yourself because there's no music. I don't listen to music when I'm reading my Bible because it puts me off. So why would I make music just to win your approval? You wouldn't be honored, would it? You wouldn't be honoring me because you're sharing me with false idols of some other practice. And when I do put a little bit of music, then that's where it needs to be. So if you guys can't understand nothing that I'm saying, and you don't want to because you want to get somebody else to do it, well, my body is the truth for what it's going to lead people onto the path to do at the right time. And you want to build something else besides me, then all that's going to do is take the truth of me away. And then when you've created whatever you've created with your imitations, nothing's going to happen. You're just going to bring awareness to people, but there's still going to be more problems reoccurring. That's why I can just say, listen to me and take my word for it, or create someone else who's suitable for you. But you not listening to me would be held accountable for not listening and paying attention to me. So if my so-called natives in Black America can show me that they can make money and put me on after my stint, my time in prison, and my children, so-called here, that's watched me grown, can't put a pound in my hand to show me the service that they've done for me. And then the Africans have no network anyway, because they're all going to America for somebody else's network, just to show them how to bring something down, or just to ignore something, or to just be used as something. I can't really put my finger on why that's gonna be practiced yet, but I know it will. And I ain't gonna rely on pictures. So if you kids want something special from me, you gotta provide something for me, because right about now I have nothing. And all I have is promises from people who want those promises to be met because of their paid service that I haven't seen them do, because give us some of your goodness, and it's like, oh, she won't get it, we're just gonna say bad things about you, and that's the reason why they probably won't get it. And if I don't get it, then I had a certain amount of people in my past that showed me a good time. I can't go back to that life now, but if that's what I'm gonna be reincarnated again to experience, then I guess this is just the reason why I'm saying that, because that's probably the gift that I'm here to seek. In terms of my own people, for the mistakes that you may read in the Bible, that's a second word or another letter or a misunderstanding to how I'm speaking right now, then that's accountable for why you should pay close attention to what it is that I'm saying, so that you don't make that mistake in your lives. And if it's just the white people who have come to experience, because it seems that way, it seems as if I've met a lot of white people who gave me a lot of messages, a lot of answers, education, money, a career, job prospects, opportunities, clothes. White people know my body shape better than anybody else on this planet. They know my body shape, my shoe size better than my dad, my mom, my sisters, my brothers, and that says a lot about brown history in me. You're supposed to know me that well, and it's looking like that's why white people are undefeated. The light-skinned, pale-looking people with red cheeks. And when they blush, they turn pink, and they've got blonde hair and brown hair and black hair or red hair. White people have just accounted for me when I needed them, when I didn't even know that I needed them, or I didn't know the story of what they were showing me. And my own brown people have just grown to be lazy, don't want to do nothing, don't want to cater for me or nothing, don't want to feed me properly, don't want to put brown business out in the high street so I can buy something to make myself look like I'm a brown boy. I'm a real brown boy, black brown boy with the identifications that suggest that I'm Caribbean and I'm colourful and I'm tropical and I've got this nice vibe and I'm bouncy and I'm laid back because we were never here to work, so I'm laid back and I'm relaxed. That's how a gift of God's people is meant to sit here on the land. That's why I came out on Instagram and said I'm comfortable, because I know my history and I know me and I know you. And all I can say is allow yourself to free your mind, your heart, and your body, and your speech, and everything that you see when you look at me, whenever you give yourself the chance to allow yourself to look at me, and you will be set free. And this is how I read the Bible, to teach it back to all of you, not to go to your Facebooks for you to be imitating what I'm doing with my finger, or you putting the glasses on. Black people, if I was you, I'd be embarrassed, because the white people have done the job that you didn't wanna. You stepped back, you left me naked, and now you wanna take the fun out of me. You're taking the fun out of yourselves, and you're showing the same degree about yourselves that you hope to see in me to drag me back to that. But the white people know that you guys exist and you're out there. And you may say that, oh, everybody says that the white man's the devil, but the devil is a spiritual mind. It's a practice of only the people who are envious and upset and angry about something that's supposed to become unknown. But it's very known, because now I can see it, feel it, smell it. I'm afraid of it now. When I look at it and it's trying to make me feel threat, I see the threat in its own eyes. That's why I walk around so nice, and I don't need to look in nobody's face no more, because I see your threat. When you're looking in my face and you're thinking you're gangster and you're gonna harm me, or you got boys, all you have to do is call one number. For me, one number, then you must be able to put the phone down and become that one number and all those gang members that you can bring to me, so that I can see your threat some more, as I'm about to train myself to take something from you, to put you way down on that floor. Rapport. Because when I throw both of my fists, that's a 2-pat of core. You're way out of your by all means necessary when you're trying to put me on my knees. Yeah, but you don't see that. You just read the Bible and you think you're doing a good thing, placing seeds inside your mind so you can give growth, because you're a good person and you want to believe that. But the intention of your body comes out through your words against me, against other people. who you're placing in danger because of your misreading of the scriptures. And then you're listening to other people, the naysayers, the false idols. Half of them are in your own family members, in your musical albums, singles, the practice of a harmony. Yeah. Oh yeah. It sticks in the brain. And then who do you look for? Me again, for the prayer. And that's what happens when you're teaching yourself to disobedience, to ignore the practices. And that's how you know that you need to keep practicing. A father could have a son and give his son the mental capacity to save others now, to make the Bible more memorable in their minds, so that they have something of an investment for the future, to recognize the signs, so that they can say, we were born into a world of sins. But by the time the end of it nearly came, we all woke up because the one gave us the sign that we needed. And instead of imitating him, we allowed him to take his time, his moment, his stage of approval to share with us how we're meant to be reading now. Bite me. Is what the apple is saying. Be by me. And never forget me is what the Bible's saying. The Spirit, through the words of the actions of those who want to be free, true, honorable, happy. Never be afraid to pick up the Bible and learn. Don't read too much. Read a scripture, a verse, put it down, meditate. Of course, you can read the whole book if you can. But then the investment for that is pretty much something like what I'm doing. But by that time, you would have to have had an account of good behavior in order to be trusted and gifted with the word, because the word is the body. And if you can't adhere to the word or the picture, you can't become the body. Should you give up at that stage knowing that before you finish reading the scripture? No. You have to allow yourself to keep reading. Even when you want to stop, then you're tempted to just read one more verse, and then you read another one, and that lets you know that your body's allowing yourself. This is the only message you're meant to be listening to right now in terms of pastors and deacons and ministers, and just do it. You have to, if you want to be free, and then you know how to free somebody else. Don't just rely on this message. You've got to watch it. You got to show me the accounts of people who picked up the good word. And if no one picks up my word or my Bible because you think you're already watching it, and you're not showing me how many people across the whole entire galaxy globe of individuals that did or didn't, when I know there's a heavy accounts of individuals, figures who are still here, then I guess you guys are answering your own fate, but you just haven't seen it, because the ending for that time, I ain't gonna teach it. Because you see, when you recognize that I'm here, I'm going to bring that with my body into your community. And then you're going to protect that. Then you're going to hold it close. And if I say I want to live to 100 and only 100 or 99 years of age, then that's the age I expect to live to. Because that will be enough time for me to save you,
to teach your generations, your children, your aunties, your uncles, your cousins, your natives, and to put some authority and brilliance back into the brown community. That's the way you're supposed to be feeling it right now. But just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean that but it will. And that's it. That's yoga. That's all it is. And that just pretty much saved you energy, saved you a journey to the gym, and hopefully when you pray after you read your scripture for guidance and to be woken in your mind so that your body can do what the guidelines suggest, then you'll be speaking like me, acting like me. You'll be true like me. You'll say good words like me. You put a smile on someone's face any time of the day like me. You will look stylish in your clothes. People will want to protect you, but they won't want to show you. They just want to know that they're doing the act of God in His grace for their own personal mindset and approval. And that's their achievements, because they don't need a certificate. The world is not an oyster. It's a brain cell for growth, disguised in mountains, water, soil, trees, flowers. Beautiful sounds that let you know that beauty exists, even if the human beings don't want to admit it. For those sounds were the very first to be selected to be as close to the promised land on a degree, which is a level that human beings would have to come to know in all the speakings and recitings of what I'm saying is how it should be expressed. So, by all means, the possibility of necessity to be accessed through your time on the land would suggest that you pay attention to everything that you read in the Bible and you become the body of that truth so that you can be ranked among the many people who didn't go to war but just done something good with good speech and acted upon that in the community. That would be a Bible teaching. From all my own observance from reading. You read, you pray together to stay with me spiritually. So if you want to see the wrath of me, this is how it comes. When you deny me and you're ignorant towards me, you step away from the internal innovation of your mind for the creativity that you create with words, so that when it comes up, you imagine that to defer the reader, then you would have to create something that's a mind-bombing tool to suggest that you have a place inside his head. The wrath against me would be you denying me and thinking that you can recreate me and you without having to do the hard work. It takes a very long time for your bitterness attributes that has been created through hardship that you've created for yourself to actually free you from that. So you're not a wrath towards me, nor am I a wrath towards you, but you deny me in the way that you shouldn't. If this is how you read in the Bible, that makes you afraid to read it, to the reason why you don't want to see the truth, because the book of John suggests that he had witnessed the works. So here it is. But it wouldn't be just one book, it's all the book. And because of everything that's happening in this room with you right now, you're not aware of that spirituality. But I'm teaching you that spirituality. And you guys won't want to look for me, because you're all running in different directions to run away from the truth, and you don't want to bring that to me. I heard someone say, bring your A game. So here it is. Bring yours. And bring a yes to my hand. Then we can do business. Whatever business means, through a recitation of what it is. Then that's speaking to yourself, because you want to recite, but you want to hold back, because you want to give the power to the mind, but you got to give it to the speaking of the mind, which becomes the body of what it is that you're reading. So your mouth knows. If only you read it with your eyes, you also spoke it with your mouth. So then your body catches up and holds that together. Then you can start listening again, because your body's action, your action to the remarks of the imprint in time with the words, could be muddled up. But who told you it was muddled up? If I'm the proof of it, then how can it be muddled up? If you allowed your body to be the proof, then why would you be muddled up? Who was you listening to? A false father? A false mother? A false idol? Who did you see at that time? Who did you bite at that time to then want to come and question me? Was that too much information? The information that you're supposed to take in is the affirmation, the body. There is no loaf unless you're just low. Then I raise you back up. Then you raise you back up. For the reason why you pray when you need me. But when you don't need me, you don't pray. And you think that there must be another door somewhere else. Escape. To go where? To who are you looking for when you're not looking for me? And then you want me to be serious. But if I'm serious with you, you won't enjoy reading the scripture, and you'll turn away from the scripture because it's obedience, it's discipline. You're not ready for that. You like enjoying your life. You like drinking with the kings. You like dating different women on the streets because she sounds loud. You love the fornication. You want to cause adultery, but you should have already been adults already. You want to be the son, but you haven't grown because your body doesn't allow you to, because you deny the truth in your body actions for what you're teaching. And then you want to be seen as a public figure, someone who's a gangster, bad person, an evil person, should be shunned upon. You shouldn't correct an evil person because he is supposed to be the ending of you, and you're supposed to fear what you're reading, apart from fearing who you're supposed to be honoring with your body and your mind and your time and your attention. You can't see me in the Bible because I don't exist. But if you want to meet me, you may run away before you even have a chance to come and stand in my face to find the person who you can't see.
Because that's how distorted your mind is. That's what's matter in your eyes. Because you can't see. You can't see that your neighbor needs your help, your native, your family. But you'll forgive your neighbor who's a friend in the field. You'll go out and fight against your brother because of the love of a father, because he didn't recognize the service of you, because you wasn't honest in your body, and you used that body to become a barrier, a wall, a vest of protection, because you think that that's a suit of armor, and that's what it's supposed to represent, war. No. You laugh in the face of hate. Wait. If only you could see it. Would you know what it is if it was really nice to you? Because it was genuine? Are you genuine? Are you looking in the face of my hate? Are you hate? Wait, is it a hat with an E on the end? Where are you looking? Is it a hat backwards? Is it a hat forwards? To the side? How do you know? Is it a magic trick? Is it a rabbit? Is it a rabbi? Is it an eye for an eye? Do you see? Do you read? Do you know who you're talking to when you see me in the Bible? But then you want to bring threat to my face. Yes, I see where we're going. Should we keep on going on the path to destruction? Your destruction. How do you know where to go next if you don't read into my Bible, my scripture on YouTube? YouTube be me, you too to me, you too be. You to be me, to be mine, takes devotion from the mind, of the body, of the soul, of the spiritual attribute. Is that too much poetry? Is it making you think too much? Haven't you got the patience? What are you scared of? Reading the message and it just goes over your head because you forgot where your brain is. Where's your crown? Where is your crown? Is it on the ground? You're going to pick it up? Are you a king? Are you a queen? Are you ready for me? Or what's in between? Disclosure from what? The force? The force of what? The power? The strength of what? The armor? Where's the armor? Your skin? What skin? You can bleed? Can you not? The sea, the Red Sea. Can you see? Is it funny? You want to make fun out of me? Why would you want to do that? You want to kill me? Do you know what's going to happen to you when you kill me? When you touch me? If you try to kill me? If you try to touch me? Is it fear? No, it's not fear. It can't be. You don't understand it. It's not trying to say that. Of course it's saying that. Is this the reason why you don't want to read my book? Because this is how I approach you. This is how I apply pressure to you. Try another book, another page. Try praying. Try baptizing yourself. Go into the water to be ferocious. My art, my speaking, my pronunciations, the language. Can you see? Do you feel? When I speak back to you, what do you, decimal point, feel? You want to heal someone? Heal someone so that you can be healed later on. That's a relay. You watch that on TV, you make time for it. This is not in the Bible. How do you know? Can you read? Have you saved someone? What do you see? Your neighbor being slain, slaughtered. Do you see? What do you do to help them? For them to give you a gift? To be known? You want face to face with me? Let's be true. Not from me. If only a speech of guidance to you, then you need to do all that within a ceremony to be true to me.
but not in a body for me, in a body similar to me. You're not me because you went through the same hardships and you sold that same story with all the people who you created fans and you haven't taught them the correct story. You're just you. And you should honor who. But you're afraid of reading, right? Because you want it to be what you want it to be and not what I ask of you nicely. To be pure, to guide you for it to be seen ultimately. How close do you want to get to see the message that you've been denying? How close? How many denominations do you want to own? How many of you want to be me? How honest do you have to be? What are you teaching if only you had a chance to teach? If you had power in your hand, what would you do with it? Mislead people? Make money from it? Steal my tithing? My land? Colonize my people, your people, our people. We share them together. Right here, it's the gift. We love one another. We're out on the street corners. What street corners? The tree corners? The gate corners? The forest corners? The Amazon corners? The animals corners? The animals have families who lie by the corners of the rock, of the mountain. Give praise and thanks to who? Me? Or you? Or for you? Or for who helps you to give praise to them in code, practice? When you're walking on road, you're just a toad. Bounce, bounce. Bounce where? Walk where? You don't want to walk. You want to walk and talk. Walk and talk where? With who? For why? What is this? We're not sure. Maybe you should put it down and come back to it later. Meditate. And then pray to me for forgiveness. To be forgiven. Pray for the third world country, black and brown African children. Pray that they get saved. Pray that they see their Savior so that the Savior can place a smile on their faces. Stop the killing. Stop the murderings. Highlight those who are to blame. Bible verses are not here for you to quote the verses. You're here to teach the meanings. You and I wouldn't need to quote the sayings because I'm teaching you the meanings of how you feel when you read. Subconsciously, you know this inside your mind, but most of you are denying it. You walk away from it. The phone rings. The phone should have been off. If the door knocks, okay, that's understandable. Devotion. Honesty. That's devotion. It's honesty. A lie? What's a lie? Honesty. How? When you're honest about a lie and how to get rid of it, a bad lie, then it's honesty. But when you hold on to a bad lie, then you're lying to yourself, you're denying yourself, and you're entrapping yourself, and you're punishing yourself. Don't do that. At this stage, you're obedient to the Bible. You're listening. And if you don't want to hear it from me, you'll hear it from somebody else who speaks for me. Did Jesus have a forerunner? It's possible. If one who has faith in the Son of God. in the Son of God, in the Son of the Most Highest, in Jesus, in Yahweh, Jehovah, you will get the message. Those are his prophets. That's a prophet. From the prophets that you don't understand to the prophets that you're going to hear right now, who are going to be well affirmed, authorized, empowered to give the message. If you're too afraid to come to my page because you're angry before you get to my page, but then that does what? If you can only hear it, then you will smell it. Then you will feel that. I'm the angel here speaking and giving you a teaching lesson. Privacy. This is what it was worth and still is. So the next time but then you walk away and you don't think about that. Because you try to become it. Then your body will usher you into something that will make a fool of you. If you don't know how to save yourself by the time you finish reading, and you will never know. Meditate. And as long as you stay true to me, I'll always save you when you need me the most. And that's why there's a Savior. That's why you have come to me, to know the truth. Your happiness is in the good practice, the vibration which is in your heart. When you look in your hands for a sign, because you want to hold on to something, then you pray before you pick up the book. If you want to become your prayer, three lines will become a prayer, because you ain't taking in too much of the bad things. So go to the good things. And if there's a prayer that's needed for something a little bit more severe, read a bigger scripture. I would go straight to Revelation because it ends all pain. It's the end of the book, which is the end of the pain. So read something in that book which will end the pain that you're struggling with in your lives, and then pray to be healed. Now, why do you think I would tell you this? Who wrote this?